Hey there, it's Mindy from simplymindy.com, and today I'm sharing 4 Dollar Tree or dollar store Easter DIY crafts. If this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe for more home decor on a budget. Today's video is also going to be part of an open challenge put on by Heidi at Happily Thriving Heidi. I will go ahead and link her channel and the playlist to the challenge in the description box. And if you haven't already, go ahead and check out her channel. She does awesome DIYs and so much more. For my first project, I'm going to be making over this egg-shaped Easter sign from Dollar Tree, and it just so happened that on the back of this sign, exactly 1 year ago, I did a DIY, which was my first video on YouTube, so I'll link that video down below if you're interested. But as far as making over the sign, I'm going to be using some faux fur, these pearl beads that are from Dollar Tree, and this glitter felt that I found at Hobby Lobby, and a couple other things I hadn't decided yet exactly which way I was taking this, so you'll see as I go along. So to start, I'm going to just take the faux fur and glue it right to the center of the sign using my hot glue. At this point, I wasn't sure where I was going with this yet, but I knew I wanted the faux fur right in the center. You can decide to paint the sign if you want. I didn't feel a need to because I knew I'd just be using the materials to cover it. And once I have my piece glued down, I'm going to take my rotary blade and just trim it off. I didn't want to risk trying to measure and having a short piece. And there's a little hand. Anyone else's kids always around when you're crafting? And here I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue to the edge of that faux fur piece to prevent it from shedding anymore. So at this point, I'm just gonna let you watch my process. I wasn't sure still where I was going with this. I didn't know if I wanted to make it elaborate and cut shapes out of this glitter felt, but it was already so bright and glittery. I didn't know which way I wanted to go with it, so I just kind of played with it. I cut strips and then I decided those were kind of skinny, so you'll see I cut some bigger strips, and I just knew I wanted to add these pearls, but just watch and see what I do. And I also added in this chevron ribbon, which is from Dollar Tree, and I thought that gave it a nice touch, but you'll see what I did in a second. I just wanted to mention that you could keep this strictly Dollar Tree by using any of their fabric scarves. They also have t-shirts. Sometimes they may have, something with a print on it, or even look in the hair section for headbands. You can really get creative with using just Dollar Tree products, but I just really fell in love with this glitter felt when I was at Hobby Lobby. I did get it for half off, so it was $1 a sheet, which might be a little pricey for some people for a piece of felt, but I just really love these pastel colors with the glitter, and it just drew me in. So So here is what I finally ended up with. You'll see I kind of staggered the thicker and thinner stripes and added the faux fur to the top and bottom, and I love how this came out. And just a quick tip, if you're going to add beads to a project like this, if you string them on a piece of twine or whatever, any kind of yarn or any, piece of string, it'll be easier to glue it in a straight line, which is what I did here. So you'll see I'm just gluing it and the string is gonna come off so that the beads will just stay there. And here's the final look of my Dollar Tree Easter egg sign. I just wanted to add a little pop of pastel into my Easter decor this year, and I think this was the perfect touch. For my second project, I'm going to be making a farmhouse bead garland, and I'm adding a cross to it. So maybe it would really be called a prayer bead, but I'm going to be using 5 of these tower block game pieces from Dollar Tree, some of their green moss, some wood beads that I had on hand from Amazon, and some crochet yarn. So to start, I'm going to be making my cross by gluing the wood block pieces together, and I'm using wood glue because I want this to be really sturdy and I want to be able to use it year after year. But you could do this with hot glue or super glue, and I'm going to set that aside to dry. And then to create my garland, I'm using the largest size bead from this assorted pack, and just placing a piece of tape on the end of my yarn, and I'm going to string the beads on. And to create the loop, you simply want to measure however many beads you want for as long as you want the loop to be, and then you want to close off the end of those 2 pieces of string by adding another piece of tape and then stringing the beads on as if it were one piece. And once I was done with my garland and my cross was almost fully dry, I added moss to the top to give it some texture and more of a farmhouse look. And you'll definitely want to use a low temperature glue gun if you have one with this to avoid burning yourself, because you'll be pressing the moss into the glue. So just be careful with this. So here's my cross all finished, and I like the way it looked with it just on the front. You could choose to cover the entire thing if you want. And I'm using this screw eye hook to attach my cross to my garland, and I'm just going to take that string that is left over from the garland and just kind of loop it through itself to attach it to the hook. And then I added a little dab of hot glue to stick it to the back and tucked the rest of it into that last bead. I did want to mention that this project was inspired by a video I saw from Megan at Glue Guns and Roses. She did a video with something similar, and I'm going to link that video down below as well. But I think this is perfect with any farmhouse or just modern decor, and I think it would look great in like a coffee table tray or hanging on a tall vase. For my next project, I made some tribal print eggs. And this was inspired by a Pinterest post that I saw while I was searching for boho Easter decor. And if you've seen any of my recent videos, you'll know that I'm just loving any kind of tribal prints and geometric patterns. So I really wanted to recreate an image that I saw on Pinterest of just this pattern on eggs. And I found these eggs at the Target dollar spot. They came in a 6-pack for, I want to say, $3. So all I did with this is I Googled tribal patterns and I found an image that I liked, and all I'm doing is freehanding, the prints that I liked onto the egg with pencil. And then I'm going to follow that with a paint pen, and I used Painter's brand, which you can find at Walmart. And I used the fine tip just to trace over the pencil lines that I made. And here's the pattern that I did on the first egg. After I'd finished drawing the pattern on the first egg, I realized that it was better to just leave a small area at the top with the pointy part of the egg and just draw the pattern around it, and that made it easier to make it symmetrical without trying to squeeze so much on there. But the paint pen worked out beautifully for this. You could even just use a Sharpie with this. And I have my little boho tribal print eggs in a bowl, just like this on my mantle, but this would look perfect in a tier tray, or again in a tray on a coffee table or on any shelf, really. For my fourth and final DIY, I'm making a cute little Easter sign with a quirky saying, and I'm using this mini box sign that I had gotten on clearance at Hobby Lobby after Christmas, and I had this decal that I cut using my Cricut along with some floral details, and I'm gonna paint this sign first using this chalk paint by Folkart in the color Patina. So I'm not prepping this in any way. I'm simply using a foam brush and carefully painting on the inside of this frame, just on that surface where the original image is. And I did have to do about 3 coats to get full coverage on this. And now that my paint is completely dry, I'm going to prepare my decal with transfer tape and apply it to my sign along with the little greenery pieces that I also cut. And if you don't have a Cricut or any other kind of cutting machine, you could easily use stickers that are available at Dollar Tree, any letter stickers, or available at any other craft store really. Or you could type this image, print it out, and do what I call a pencil transfer by just shading in on the back of the paper and then tracing over the wording to transfer the image, which you could then fill in with paint or marker or whatever you choose. And this project was also inspired by another YouTuber. Nicole at the Week's Nest, she made a sign with this same saying, and I also saw a sign at Kirkland's, which my husband saw as well, and he really liked, so that's what made me want to create this myself. But to add a little more detail to this, I took some little scrap pieces of florals that I had left over from another project, and these are from Dollar Tree. These are from those little what are they called, stems with the frosting on them. And so I just cut apart the little flowers and added them to give a little more detail to the greenery. And then I decided to also add a couple little bunny ears by using the same ribbon that I used in the first project. And I messed up on this first one here. Just if you try to do this, you want to start at the folded end of the ribbon and just cut in like an oval shape. And I glued those to the back of the sign. And you'll see I did go back and add a little bow to the top. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and leave me a comment letting me know which project was your favorite. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. And don't forget to check the description box for a link to Heidi's channel from Happily Thriving Heidi, and for the playlist link for this challenge as well. Thanks again, as always, for watching. See you next time.